Yeah, welcome to Hard Reads. I'm TK, this is Austy, and we are going to talk about some pretty great topics today. We actually have on the docket Korean in SoCal, and how he's been saying that SoCal sucks. You know, has the most resources, but one of the worst regions. Leffen versus Tekken, and his soiree into that, and of course top 5 moments of the year. So will be a lot of talk. Mostly, I feel like a lot of that's gonna, circle around MKLeo, but it is what it is. Like, he's a very dominant force in Ultimate right now, so it makes sense. Anyway, I'm TKbreezy. It's Austy. What's going on, man?
Not much, dude. Just it's kind of a side note. I did get laid off last week, so now for next year, I get a lot of severance pay coming in for money. So I'm gonna have a lot of free time coming up. So I'm pretty excited.
Now, I don't think it's gonna be the whole year, is it?
No, it's 4 months. But that's still a long. Damn, that's a long time though.
It's enough time. Definitely enough time. So.
I'm gonna chill for 2 months, But other than that, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that sucks, But the best thing you can do is keep yourself into a rhythm, because I feel like what's gonna happen is you're gonna be off and you're kind of enjoying it like a vacation and whatnot, and then you're gonna get your next job and you're gonna start waking back up at 6 and you're gonna be like, what the fuck? Why? How did this happen? So
Bro,
that's the whole reason I'm still doing this.
Bro, I just want to sleep in until 9 or 8:30. That sounds amazing. Because right now I'm still doing it until the end of the year. Is I wake up at 6 or 5:30 sometimes, depending on what's going on.
Yeah,
so.
I shot myself in the foot when I was a high schooler, because in senior year I had 2 classes and they both started at noon. So I just
no.
yeah. And I just started waking up at 11, and then I had to go back and get a real job. So I had to start waking up at 6 again, and I was like, oh my god, this is terrible. So now I'm freelancing, waking up back at 11. It's great.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you're living the dream, honestly. So it might be stressful at times, but you gotta do what you love, So
it's a dream sometimes, nightmare other times. Anyway, getting in to our first talk commitment, we got Korean and SoCal. So if you guys didn't know, Korean this week has made it. So it's made he's made it like a twit longer, and it was basically saying that SoCal does not. They don't use their resources effectively, and that's for top players, for mid-level players, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. And to an extent, I agree with him. SoCal definitely was booming in 4. It came out of nowhere, 2GG, ESA, all that good stuff, and then all the top players, it was everything was a mini national at all times, right? And then the top players stopped showing up as much because they didn't have a reason to, because one, obviously the money of a local is never that great. But 2, it's just a lot of stress every week to beat the same top people, or top people all the time for $100. So they stopped going because obviously streaming became big as well. But another thing that I think is a huge problem in SoCal is actually the amount of locals they have. On any given day, there's 7 locals. And so instead of everyone just coming to one hub, it's there's 5 30-man locals when there could be 2 75 to 150-man locals. And I get that SoCal is big, and you'd have to travel, an hour and some change for most locals or whatever. But it seems like they're used to that. And it seems like they're only really cutting 15 to 30 minutes out of their trip anyway to go to a smaller local. So I feel like, I don't know if that's a TO thing, where the TOs are trying to become the next best thing, the next big thing. And they're in competition. They don't want to team up. But I really think that TOs should team up more often in SoCal, so that they can have bigger nationals, or bigger locals. Sorry. And then, obviously, that'll probably lead to greater nationals too. But yeah, just the locals being that small and spread out, I really think that hurts the SoCal scene as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that front. The thing is, it's hard to get everyone to work together because everyone's got their own business. Everyone's got their own venue that they want to promote. And if you work together, that's going to dip into their pockets when they could be running, sometimes it's not even the TO's decision. It could be the person who owns the venue's decision, whoever owns the store or whatever. I guess 2GG is kind of different because they have a hotel area for their local, which is very bizarre. But I feel like it's something that they really can't fix because of the nature of competition. So I think that's just going to be a permanent thing for them until companies go under, or tournaments go. It's competition, so someone doesn't have a monopoly, but then there's too much competition. So
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
not
So
what SoCal's
I
doing.
really don't know how they're going to play that one out because it's just
Mm.
like there's so much, there like I really get where they're coming from. There it literally is so much SoCal. So
Yeah, no, it's huge.
yeah, and I don't know, man. With the fact that everything is so spread out, I understand why there's so many locals, but I do think that there does need to be 7. Like I can see like 2 locals a day in SoCal being like the prime, like all right, there's one up in like upper SoCal and there's one in lower SoCal. So it's like there's one in San Diego or something, and then there's one in like LA, and then anyone in between or close to those just goes to those. But for the most part, man, like it's just so big and it's so spread out. And I think that, like, as I said earlier, that I think it's the TO is also trying to be like the next big thing and instead of wanting to work together. And as you pointed out, yeah, maybe the money part of it is an issue as well. But money seems to be a big issue for Smash in general. Like we don't have it and we want it, but once we get it, we're calling everybody a sellout. So I don't know. Like I just don't know how that works out for you.
That's the circle of life, bro. Like, come on, it's a never-ending loop. Like, I feel like, so New York City, for instance, the other side of the coast, like we have a tournament once a day, except weekends, which happen every now and then. But on the Monday through Friday, there's a tournament each day at a different venue, or sometimes the same venue, and that's it. There's very rarely we have competition on the exact same day, and it's been lovely and nice because everyone, if you want to play, that day is available to play. But you don't have to worry about going to like a smaller one. It didn't used to be like that for Smash 4 because we had, you had to go to different boroughs like the Queens or Brooklyn or something like that. And all the tournaments are pretty much in Manhattan now. So it's nice, centralized.
I think people should probably stop worrying so much about like the tournament side of things. I think honestly top players should just get together and practice more. And not online. I mean, like I see that New York has actually been doing that where they're having like actual Smash Fest and just playing and trying to learn as much as they can about certain people's characters as a game and stuff. I don't think everything needs to be in a tournament setting. Just as long as you're going with the idea of I'm trying to learn or get better, then the matches should be good. I know people are all like, oh, it's just friendlies, but sometimes those friendlies can really show you a lot. So I'm going to take my friendlies to heart, or at the very least, I'm going to attempt to try unless I know that or unless that thing that Leffen said a while back where like, oh, if you ultimate players play friendlies for too long, by like an hour in they're already playing their like 9th best character. I don't like doing that anymore. I literally play 2 characters. I play 2 characters now, bro.
I hate dog.
I play Sheik and I play Wii Fit. That is it. I'm like, all right, once the Sheik doesn't work, all right, let me play the Wii Fit. Like that's it. But speaking of Leffen, moving on. So if you guys didn't know, Leffen has been, well, I don't know if he's actually trying to get into it deep like that, but he has been talking about getting into Tekken, which is a game that I've been very versed into since the game has come out. Like I've been playing Tekken since day one. Maybe not as much on stream as usual, but I have been playing a lot more lately just because I wanted to try out Leori. But yeah, he has been playing some Tekken, and according to him, and I was at his channel for a little bit, but according to him, the Tekken community was very toxic to him. Like he came in and he was like, oh, he made a series of tweets about it too. It's like, this is the most toxic the community's ever been to me, blah, 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 a bunch of other people. He got to the point where they made like r/Kappa threads about him and how he was bitching and all that good stuff. But there's 2 sides of the story, to be honest. Leffen, regardless if he wants to like claim this or not, Leffen is his persona is very toxic. Like it's just a bunch of complaining and whining, which is definitely not good. And I'm saying his persona because like I've hung out with Leffen and he's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not like that's not like a normal Leffen thing where he's just always bitching, but like online, that's what it looks like. He looks like he's always bitching. So he gets into this game. He hasn't played for more than 4 days and he, I guess, expects to be a god. So instead of like just seeing that he's probably getting caught by gimmicks because he doesn't know what they are yet because he's new, he's just, oh, this game is trash because of this, that, and the other. So for people who really like that game and who have spent time into it, of course they're going to shit on you. Like that's, you can't come into anything. You can't come into literally anything after like 5 weeks of, or not even 5 weeks, of 5 days of doing whatever it is, where people have spent like their whole livelihood doing it and then start calling it trash, as if the people who have not spent their whole livelihood doing it are not going to be offended. It's like if I out of nowhere decided I wanted to be a football player, right? I've never done football before. Like that's not a thing, right? And then like after getting tackled 4 times, I'm like, this game is trash. I'm off the field, and you guys are playing a trash game. It doesn't work like that. You can't do that.
Yeah, you just come off as a wuss, like.
Yeah, you just come off like a bitch, and like that's why a lot of people of the FGC were saying. So I think after they saw that he was getting agitated and already tweeting about them, they just started to harass him, and that's not even like a not normal thing on the internet, because he was like, oh, like I see people are saying stuff like, oh, it's just the internet, but like this has never happened to me in other games. Well, the thing is about the other games, you were good at them, so you were allowed to have opinions like that. And most people couldn't check you because they couldn't beat you. You could say Ultimate's trash and then you won a tournament. So like, what are we supposed to do now, right? You were really good at DBFZ, and I don't really think he shot on DBFZ like that anyway, but he was really good at DBFZ, and he's got like him in Melee, and he praises Melee to the highest of all powers. So like, there's no shit talking there. No one's gonna shit talk you back in Melee. No one's really gonna shit talk you back in Ultimate, because a lot of the people that are watching you are probably in agreement. And then no one's going to shit talk you in DBFZ because you were also really good at that game. However, you're currently not good at Tekken, and you're coming in, I guess, kind of expecting to become the god in a couple of days. And Tekken is just not a game you can do that. Like, it took me it took me a whole year to get to just yellows. And that's like not even a great rank. That's like that's like a super mid-level rank. There's like 15 more tiers over me. So I don't know, man. It's just the tone deafness there was what really killed me, on him calling everything toxic while still existing as being Leffen. Like,
yeah, like it's almost like a hyperbole of some kind. Like he literally he's a newcomer to Tekken. Like, he's actually a scrub because he's new to the game, and then he's exuding those opinions that scrubs make when they can't beat something. Like, I don't know how to beat this, and I haven't labbed it yet. So therefore it's broken, and this is a bad game because I never figured out how to beat it. That's what it comes off as. So of course people are gonna make fun of me. It's like I'd make fun of someone like that, you know. So just because he's good at something else doesn't mean that like level of respect transfers over to another game, you know. Unless he was good, but he's not. Yeah. So I think
also that like there's a lot of history in Tekken too that like I don't even know, but I know that exists. So there's a lot of old school stuff that you also miss. So if you came in directly at Tekken 7. Then of course, like you're going to be getting blown out by a lot of stuff. While DBFZ was the first game of its kind, so it was like everyone was more so on a like equal playing field. Like, I mean, sure, there's other fighters like that, like 3v3 anime fighters, whatever, Marvel, or whatever, you know. But it was easier to jump into a game from ground one or ground zero where everyone is trying to learn the game than to come into a game that has legacy where people are just kind of refreshing their ideas on their certain characters. Except for the DLC characters that are like new. So, yeah.
No, it's a weird like situation because I saw that I actually missed all of that happened like on Twitter and Twitch and everything until I saw the apology tweet later. Because like he Leffen actually like did he apologize, right? I think that's what I was reading on one of his tweets. Like, I mean, as much as Leffen could.
Yeah, it was. He said sorry. He definitely said sorry. He was like, "Oh, like I tweeted this out in anger, in anger." And he was like, "I know that the Tekken community in itself is not bad, but the Tekken online community is trash." And we're in two different boats, because I think that like I came in as a super newcomer. Like, I knew that I came in on some real scrub shit. Like, I didn't know much about the game. I had to learn a bunch of stuff. And I, for the most part, will allow people in the chat to help me unless I feel like they're being condescending about it. Now, at the same time, though, I'm not claiming that the game is shit, or am I claiming that like I'm a god. Like, I just know that like right now I'm bad, and I'm just trying to get better, like I am in pretty much every game that I play. And I think that was the disconnect between me and Leffen, is that he came in expecting to be like the god in like 4 days, and that just didn't happen. And then he got frustrated because he wasn't the god in 4 days. And everyone's looking at him like, well, we want to help you. And he's like, no, I don't want your help. And then they're like, well, fuck you then. And then he's like, well, fuck you then. And then that's how we get to where we're at now. So.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. Like, the whole situation didn't shock me at all, to be honest. No. I heard about it and it's like, oh, okay, that's funny. And then I kind of just like moved on. But then I looked into it more because we were going to talk about it today, and I discovered everything that happened. And
Yeah.
Tekken's not an easy game, bro. That game is hard. I played that game for like 2 weeks, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was
Definitely
learning
a
bit
hard
by
game.
bit, but I was a king player.
You gotta, you had to learn like a lot too. You had to learn like chain throws and stuff. Like Tekken is one of those games where like every day that you play, you still have to hop into training mode, like
Yeah.
just to refresh some stuff. Like it doesn't matter what I literally never hopped straight into ranked unless I had already been like messing around when playing some of my friends or something. Then I'll hop straight to rank. But if I start the stream and I want to play Tekken, the first like 30 minutes I'm in training mode. Get my stuff down.
A lot of fighting games are like that too. Like you should go into training mode like literally every day. Smash is not that type of game, unfortunately, because the training mode is garbage, which I've talked about before. But
I mean, you can still do stuff, but for the most part,
jab, reverse air, rush,
soccer.
back air with Crom, like that's all I can do, man.
All right, man.
That's what I do in training mode.
Well, I'm glad that you called it a reverse air, rush, back air instead of Jair, as they've been trying to. I'm not ever.
Who says Jair?
Again. It's been, I don't know if that's like a meme on Twitter, but I've seen a lot of the Crom and Roy players talking about well, if you do jab to back air and you know it's coming, shouldn't we just call that Jair? And I'm like, no.
I'm gonna start calling it Jair.
I'm going to uppercut you.
Dude, it's so easy to say.
No, it is not, bro. Like, just call it something else. Jair sounds gross. It's not even, that's not a jab. Like, Jair means jab air. And like, that just does not, that's not a thing. If it was a jab air, the only jab air in the game is Little Max neutral air. That's a jab air. You know what I'm saying? But anyway.
I'm gonna call it the oopsie scoopsies. That's what I'm gonna do.
I'm down. I'm down for that.
Give it a simple name.
You gotta
like
give
that.
it something stupid. Yeah, hit them with the old. They're like, all right, well, we're out. I'm leaving now. Sorry, man. All right,
It's all good. But hey, speaking of Smash, we got the end of the year is here. TK, 2019.
the year is here. We went through our first year of Smash, and so let's talk about some of the highlights of it. Now, this probably won't line up to everyone else's list, but this is just a list that we came up with super quickly. Over the things that we thought about, throughout this year. So the biggest one obviously is going to be a no-brainer. It is Leo's dominance over this game already. He just, he hit the ground swinging, and just like that, or hit the ground running, and just like that, he's still at the top. Now, he was pretty much at the top at the end of Smash 4 too, and he just carried that dominance over into Ultimate. And he's only, I think the second season in PGR, hit the lowest place, and he's got is second. So that's
nuts.
That's crazy. Yeah, I think it was twice too. So like, I just, it's,
he always makes it to grands, that's always something. But like, the Smash 4 dominance from 0 was still greater than this, like in the beginning. But this is still pretty, like, no one's gonna say MKLeo is not the best player right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Zero's dominance at the beginning was, the streak is just, it's unbeatable. But however, like, the competition, I think, is a little more fierce right now.
Yeah.
On who could actually, potentially take out MKLeo. It just doesn't happen. So, yeah, I mean, Leo's the god, and he will continue to be the god until someone is able to, bust his ass.
Beat him. Like,
yeah,
I think consistency is the key word. Like, they have to beat him again and again and again. Like, not just a one-time wonder. So
yeah, I can't even think of who could do that right now. Like, so everyone who's got a win on him has got like kind of like a one-off, and then everyone who's got a win on him might not even get a chance to reach him. Like, Nairo's got the win on him, but Nairo doesn't place well all the time or get into like the grand finals all the time. And then Samsora's got a win on him, and Samsora also doesn't place into the top 3 all the time. So I don't know, man. It's interesting.
You could say it's Samsora, it could be Nairo, it could be Tweak. Like, there's so many different. Tweak. But then Tweak also has like problems getting to grand finals sometimes. So like MKLeo is the only consistent player like that's getting in there in that top spot. And I think it's because the level of competition is like MKLeo, and then after that, then everyone else is like kind of tied, which is why they're always like mixing and matching what the placements are, because they're all around the same level. Meanwhile, MKLeo is just like leaving dust in the path. So I'm hoping for 2020 that we see a new contender that starts to win a lot and put MKLeo in his place and try to like overtake that spot. I think that'd make for kind of an exciting storyline in Ultimate, because right now the storylines in Ultimate aren't the greatest because of that. Mm-hmm. But So yeah, I think that's number one. I think everyone knew that MKLeo being the best was, or his dominance, winning the biggest tournaments like Evo was.
Yeah, if it wasn't number one, I mean, it was easily going to be on the list, but to us, it was going to be number one.
Yeah. This is just like a top five.
Yeah, it's like a quick top five. So
yeah.
Up next, we got Nairo in his first one of an S tier, which is pretty huge. That S tier being main stage. Also over MKLeo in a reset as well. And the last game was pretty dominant on top of that. So, Nairo, obviously like the hero of Smash Ultimate and 4. He's got a super huge following. People always want to see him do well and things like that. Or a lot of people always want to see him do well and things like that. So that was the first time he was able to get a S tier win. He's got some great placements just in general, but never still a placement of that S tier win. So big shout outs to Nairo. The grind's finally paid off. The only real top player who can sit and do a Wi-Fi for years, for years on end and still go and be a top player. I don't know how he does it, man. I don't know how he does it.
Because he does get offline practice, but he's majority of the time he's just messing around in online. So he knows the game very well, but to get that tight reaction times, I don't know how the hell he does it. He says the Wi-Fi is not that bad. He says playing online is not that bad, and I disagree. But I don't understand how he could do that. Props to him for running that stream and being the most popular Smash Ultimate streamer out there. It was a long time coming because in Smash 4 he was the first one to take a tournament from zero. Mm-hmm. And then in Brawl he had a dominance there in the tri-state area with his Meta Knight. So he's been in Smash for a long time. So ever since he was a kid. So it's cool to see him making a very decent living with it.
Yeah, I think he's what is he one? He's 23 now or 22, something like that. He's still
he just
super
turned
young.
22. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's still got some time ahead of him. As I said, I think most players peak around 26. So he's got some time. Now, speaking of peaking, Larry Lur might want to join that commentary desk. Anyway,
wow.
Wait, that was for shouts to Korean, bro. He always shits on Larry.
Yeah, he does. Well, because Larry, you gotta go to locals. You gotta go to locals to get better, right?
Yeah, good times. But
he'd kick our ass.
Yeah, he definitely beat my ass. Still in. I mean, but we're the same age, so we're both boomers. He's 29, I'm 30. It's
Come
over.
Come on, man.
Up next, man, we got Leffen beating Salem. So, if you guys didn't know, there was a whole arc of Smash Ultimate where Salem was, well, he still is, but he was a super villain, and he was all, yeah, bro, the melee community is just a bunch of bullies, blah blah blah, and somehow he single-handedly united the entire Smash community on calling him an idiot. Now, the biggest thing that came out of this was that Leffen, a primarily melee player, beat him. And that was a huge thing because all Salem was doing was talk about how melee players are one tricks and they can't do anything but play melee or anything like that. Then he loses to the primarily melee player. So that didn't go well for him. And yeah, I was just that's pretty much it. That's the end of that story right there. He lost him. There's an addendum to that story where he beat Armada, and then he didn't shake his hand and was really rude about it. And it was kind of interesting because he should have held all that animosity for Leffen, because Armada said one thing and then he never answered him back again. But Leffen, anytime he could make fun of Salem, he would do it. And then he beat Salem, and then I guess Salem never had another chance to play him or something like that. And but when he beat Armada, he popped off on him Armada was Salem, when we were all what the? These are two different people, man.
Literally, there's a giant arc for that. And I felt the Super Smash Con was the finale when Leffen beat him. Because before that, there were so many times when they were supposed to fight based on brackets, but then someone would get upset, so it didn't happen. So when it finally did, it just no one's really talked about Salem since that happened. But that was great because you saw all the melee players popping off for Leffen too, and it was it all started on Twitter. That's the thing with Twitter. I think someone made a video on it. I remember watching a YouTube video of someone composing all the tweets together. Maybe it was Sartosti. I don't remember.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
It was hilarious.
That moment always kind of sticks out to me. Why would you, of all the people to pop off on?
Why would you pop off on
Armada too, dude? It's even if it was, Armada. It's Armada, dude. Come on, man.
Yeah, all melee players are the same to Salem. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, melee players live in a commune. They share one brain cell, apparently. All right.
I mean,
so getting into our next topic. We got Evo's top 8, the entire thing. And well, yeah, I don't know if you guys watched Evo's top 8, but it was an amazing experience for multiple reasons. Well, amazing for me because I got to commentate in-house, and that was really cool. But overall, just an amazing experience altogether. Had fun watching crazy matches. Almost got the Tweak and MKLeo like rivalry really came to a head right there. Where oh man, and it happened so again too last weekend with Tweak MKLeo, another Game 5 situation where Tweak just couldn't clutch it out. But you can definitely tell that he's getting closer. As long if Tweak can clutch out that last game, he would definitely be the best player by now. But it's just him in that last game against MKLeo never go well.
Yeah, and if you could just consistently beat him too, I think that would like solidify each week. But what made Evo like so spectacular was that there was all that talk about like who should get the final spot of top 8. What should it be? It's not gonna be Street Fighter this year, even though Street Fighter's always had it. So it's either gonna be Tekken or Smash, and people really wanted it to be Tekken. Because Tekken's always been hype, and Ultimate's a brand new game. We don't know if it's going to be hype. So when Ultimate got it, a lot of eyes were on to be like, are you guys going to, like, how are you going to top Tekken? That just happened, And it delivered. It was one of the most exciting top 8s out there for Ultimate, and I'm glad it happened on the finale of Evo.
Yeah. So we'll probably get more great top 8s like that for the time being. I mean, we're entering our second year. We have a whole second patch or second group of DLC coming out. So the Smash action will not stop. At least not for another year or so. And I'm not even worried about it stopping even after that. Like, if the DLC stops, doesn't mean the game's going to stop. It just means we're not getting any more new content. But hopefully we stop on a patch that everyone can agree, or most people can agree on. And then we're in a good spot. That's all I really want.
We played Smash 4 for like 4 years. So I think Ultimate's fine. Like, we're still year one. We've got plenty of years left to go with it.
Yeah, but the thing about Smash 4 is I don't think that game was going to even start to decline until Ultimate got announced. Like, yeah. And then out of nowhere, everyone who was like, oh, I can't believe we're playing. Shut up. I was so annoyed while looking at Twitter.
Bro, same.
I wanted to save everyone's Ultimate tweets that were like, Ultimate is like the best game I ever played in their first impressions, and then wait for the next Smash game to come out. And then, like, once they're like making their tweets again, just quote tweet them with that tweet. Like, oh, you mean when you said this? Ultimate's not that great. Like, well, that's not what you said at the beginning. So
yeah, people change their minds on the flip of a coin, man.
You don't have to denounce. Like, you don't have to denounce another game just to talk up another one. Like, I say I don't like Brawl, but I also didn't like Brawl when I was playing it back in the day. Like, I mean, I enjoyed it, but I never was like, this is the best game I've ever played. Mostly because of Meta Knight. I didn't want to play Meta Knight, and I couldn't play any of the other characters because they were invalidated by Meta Knight. So I don't know, man. It's a very interesting, it's a very interesting thing that Smashers will do when another game comes out. Except for Melee people, obviously they'll stay with their game forever. But all Smashers who went from Brawl forward, every time they want to talk about the new game or the old game, they're always ready to shit talk it until I think 2 games pass. I think it's going to happen. Whatever the next game is past Ultimate, if another one comes out, that's when people are going to be like, 4 wasn't that bad. So.
People have already been saying that. There's been some people saying like, man, 4 had this and that. I miss 4 and stuff like that.
I only miss perfect pivoting.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of miss perfect pivoting. Do you think there's going to be another Smash game? Like, I
I think the possibility is there, but I don't think Sakurai is going to do it. It's going to be like when Halo got swapped over to 343 instead of Bungie. But does that mean it's going to be good? I actually don't know. Probably not. It could potentially be better. Maybe Sakurai was holding it back. I don't know.
Welcome to Smash 6, where we have 30 characters. Something like that. And the internet would just like lose their shit at that. Even though that's like perfectly fine to have 30 characters, but we have so many. Like, I can't even name all the characters on the roster off the top of my head. Like, I had to look at the character select screen because I'll definitely forget someone. There's so many fucking characters. I have no idea how the hell they're going to try to like get all of them back for the next game. So that's why I feel like this might just be like the penultimate. They just keep building on it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Like, the more I think about it, I'm just like, all right, man, let's just move on. Let's just move on. just move on before I get tight. So, all right.
Word.
What are we on 4th right now? Or is that 4?
That was 4.
All right. So we had 5, but we also had like 6. So, I don't know which one I would call the honorable mention, but the fifth one is kind of a tie between Esam winning Glitch, which was originally an A tier and then got swapped to an S tier because one Elegant didn't make it, or an S tier, but then got swapped to an A tier because Elegant didn't make it, which I don't give a fuck if Elegant didn't make it or not. I don't know if he was projected to play Esam, but I'm going to give that win to Esam anyway, and still call it an S tier because, yeah, one person not coming that wasn't like MKLeo should not have that level of effect on a tournament like that. So, yeah, man, he still wanted S tier to me, even if it's a pseudo S tier. And that's big for Esam because, yeah, his results have been kind of all over the place. Sometimes he'll place like 5th, sometimes he'll place 33rd. You know, you never know. But at that time, yeah, his results were all over the place. So, good stuff to Esam. But the other side of that coin is Samsora also beating MKLeo. So he was the second person to be able to beat MKLeo outside of Nairo. He did it at Shine, which is super huge for him because at the beginning of the game, remember everyone was talking about how they think Samsora might actually be the best character in the game.
A player?
A player, yeah. Best player in the game. Yeah, it was. That was interesting. Like he was winning a lot of his locals. Peach was looking mad busted because her combos, and everyone was like, "Dude, Samsora might be the hot," you know what I mean? And then he just, you know, never was able to win anything super substantial. He won some things, but he didn't win like the you know, the crazy S tiers like that or over at MKLeo. Then he did it at Shine. So that was, you know, all great things that happened in the Smash community over the last year. Hopefully in the next year we have even greater things, even greater tournaments, more people coming in and, you know, throwing a little money around, sticking their foot into the ultimate pool and trying to get some great matches on their own stream, you know?
Yeah, that's I would say it's a top 6 right there. That's fine. Like, or the tie. I feel like a lot of the topics we talked about were pretty much about who beat MKLeo, just showing his dominance and showing how important he is to the good of Smash.
Oh, definitely forgot about Mars did it too, but that was in what was that? That was
a long time.
Well, he actually did it twice, didn't he? He did it with Mega Man too, though. So he's beat him a couple times. I think he beat him twice.
I can't remember what.
But he won a tournament doing it once, and that was interesting because I remember MKLeo like SD'd, and I was like, what the like what is the? I get that you go for the deep bear, but never this deep. What are you doing?
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, because it's so unlike him to do that. So that was very bizarre.
Yeah, but. The second time, I think Mars just had his number. Mars also, I feel like that's another honorable mention. Mars is nice. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think people forget that Mars, you know, sometimes exists every now and then. Because, yeah, he does have some interesting placements every now and then. Also, he lives in New England, which is a region that doesn't get a crazy amount of shine. But once Mars goes out and, you know, hits these tournaments, bro, Mars is nice. Like, you can't ever really sleep on Mars because he's always going to be a contender for top 8. I think the other big thing is that he just does not have a great record against Tweak. So when you think about Mars, you end up thinking about him losing to Tweak all the time. And it's just, you know, so you kind of forget about him a little bit.
And also ZSS sucks. So, you know.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't believe that one bit, but okay.
Same. That's like his catchphrase now on Twitter, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the top 5 list, man. I thought it was a pretty good one. I'm excited for the new year. Are we going to do a Christmas-themed episode next week? Is that happening? Because that's literally on Christmas. I don't even know if we're going to be live.
Are you home?
I'll be home.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm leaning toward no, but we'll see, man.
We'll talk.
Yeah, we'll talk. So.
I'm okay with
but
it.
But until then.
Because, like, 2 weeks from now, it's New Year's. So,
I mean, you don't do anything on New Year's, like
I recover.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can. You don't want to have a hangover stream? Come on, bro. No, just like you do stuff on Christmas, like you're supposed to like, you know, you're supposed to be with your family and like open presents and stuff. You don't do anything on New Year's. You just recover. So
okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So with that being said, guys, we will be calling the show. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Harder Reads here on the Prediction Channel. We will be back in about 2 weeks. Hopefully we will be able to marinate on a lot. Maybe there'll be a Christmas disaster, and then we can talk about that on New Year's.
It's 2 weeks. Something's gonna happen. We all know
something's gonna happen. So yeah, man. But until then, guys, I'm TKbreezy. That's Austy, and we will catch you guys next time. Later.